So a few years ago, my dad, John,
the gaffer,
my uncle, Chris,
the dark horse,
and I, Mike,
the rookie,
had this idea. Why not tour Spain on motorbikes? John was the seasoned rider, Chris was a born-again biker, and I was a rookie, just waiting for whatever the trip could throw at us. Beyond our choice, it was raw, unfiltered, and spontaneous. Different location every night, nothing booked in advance, just see where the road would take us. The trip was raw and full of surprises, not always good ones, but it gave us a taste of adventure that we couldn't shake. After many trials and tribulations in Spain, we had to go again. Andalusia had so much more to offer, we'd only just scratched the surface. Planning began on Spain 23, however, life can be mercurious at times. We were thrown a curveball, Ireland's famous coastal route, the wild Atlantic Way. After we got back from Spain, planning on our next big trip almost started straight away. But then we heard of Ireland's epic coastal route and decided, let's make it a sort of warm-up trip, a preliminary adventure before the main event in Spain. Running from Malin Head in the north down to Maizen Head in the south, or vice versa, the wild Atlantic Way stretches for 1,500 miles along Ireland's west coast. With only 4 days available, completing the entire route was, of course, impossible. Instead, we decided to book the ferry from Kerm to Larne and focus on the northern section. Given our limited time, our goal was to pack in as many sites as possible, and the Antrim coast, with its abundance of hotspots, was the perfect place to start. Our rough outline mapped out a 913-mile journey, a distance we felt was achievable in just 4 days. We went for a few hoops to make things smoother this time. Our own bikes, Bluetooth headsets, quad locks, Google Maps, which certainly tested our ability at times with its never-ending detours. Massive thanks to David and Richard over at Think Bike Gear for sorting us out an unbeatable deal on our kit and getting the headset set up. No way we'd have figured that out without you. They're a top-notch local business with loads of premium gear. If you haven't checked them out yet, you're missing out. Links in the description, give them a look. On my end, I even had to retake my bike test. Over here in the UK, we have this funny tiered system. I've been riding on a restricted A2 license. Even though I was 22 years old at the time when I took my test, I still wasn't eligible to ride a full-powered bike. With a bit of good fortune, I passed the test first time and pretty much immediately swapped my SV650 for the much more comfortable Kawasaki Z1000 SX. I was all ready for the trip now. With a 3 a.m. start, coffees were mandatory. 205 miles ahead of us to Cairnryan Port in Scotland. Riding into the dawn with many miles ahead of us, the northern section of our island adventure had begun. After a chilly start, we had a 2-hour ferry crossing to Larne, and just like that, we rolled off into Northern Ireland, ready to kick off the real adventure. After a short rest on the ferry, time for a quick refuel and hit the road again. Leaving Martin, we followed the A2 coast road all the way up to Ballycastle. We couldn't believe we were still in the UK. Northern Ireland had welcomed us with smooth tarmac and no potholes. Our first proper stop was Carrick-a-Reid, the famous rope bridge redeveloped in 2008. It's extremely popular amongst thrill-seeking tourists. It's also a National Trust site, so booking in advance is recommended. It's a 20-minute walk from the car park to the bridge, a total of 1 kilometre. In bike gear, it's never ideal. The original bridge was first erected by salmon fishermen in 1755. The name from the Gaelic Carrick-a-Reid means the rock in the road, referring to a rocky obstacle that migrating salmon must navigate as they search for the river where they were born. The laughter from crossing the rope bridge soon subsided, as the climb out to the car park felt heavy. Fair to say, we were all ready for a beer now. A 30-minute ride didn't sound so bad, especially with the hope of grabbing a shower, some food, and then a beer or two. We were staying in Coleraine, and with a great bit of advice from our Airbnb host, we headed to the harbour in Portrush. After a great night in Portrush, waking up feeling sort of refreshed, we started day 2. Continuing along the Antrim coast, we encountered some incredible sights and serpentine roads, which eventually led us to the famous Giant's Causeway. Access to the rock formations is free, but there is a fee for the visitor's experience, which includes parking. Giant's Causeway was created by volcanic activity, forming when the basalt lava flows rapidly cooled and contracted. This resulted in around 40,000 interlocking columns. The different sizes and shapes of the columns were caused by varying temperatures during cooling, and some of these stones reach heights of up to 39 feet. These rocks have been around for more than 60 million years. According to local legend, the Giant's Causeway was built by the giant Finn McCool. To make the story feel even more real, there's a rock formation that resembles a giant's boot. It's believed that Finn built the causeway to reach Scotland without getting his feet wet, planning to fight his enemy, the giant Benandonna. Interestingly, a similar rock formation can be found across the sea at Fingal's Cave in Scotland. A little further down the road to the west of Giant's Causeway is the 16th century medieval Dunluce Castle. It was used in the hit series Game of Thrones as House Greyjoy's castle. There are many sites across Northern Ireland used in the show, one being the Dark Hedges used for the King's Road. All these sites are well worth stopping for. However, with a limited timeline, I couldn't come up with any more excuses for a fag break. So we had to press on through Derry and cross the border, just outside from the amusingly named town of Muff. From there, we set our sights on Malin Head. Chris's mum grew up not far off our route to Malin Head, so we made a quick pit stop, which led to an unexpected meeting. Turning into the property, I was nearly taken off my bike by the family's dog. Luckily, the chain wasn't a foot longer, or I'd have been done for. Shame I didn't get that on camera. All I remember is Chris saying, "Don't worry, it won't bite," as its teeth glowed in the sun. The dog was an unexpected meeting, although the next one carried much more significance. Chris's auntie still lived in the house where his mum had grown up, but she wasn't in. Just then, a quad bike drove past, then suddenly turned around and pulled up on the driveway. The man got off and stood staring at Chris. With Chris staring back, it felt like a Western face-off. It turned out that they were cousins who hadn't seen each other since they were kids. It's uncanny sometimes what these bike trips can bring about. Reaching Malin Head was a real milestone for the trip. It's Ireland's most northerly point, and its rugged landscape recently caught Hollywood's eye when it was used as a filming location for Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Back on the road, we headed for the night's accommodation in Port Salon, a beautiful coastal village in County Donegal. After checking in, we made our way to the golf club for some food, then to the local pub for a few beers and plenty of laughs. There's a theme beginning to develop here, something we ought to have learnt from our time in Spain. Drinking beer and late nights don't mix with early starts and bike. Never mind. Day 3 begins. A quick ride up to the viewpoint to look down over the beach got the day started. Next destination, Slieve League. This coastal mountain boasts some of the highest sea cliffs in Europe. At 601 metres, 1,970 feet tall, Slieve League was an impressive sight, even with a little rain. The last night of the trip was in Bundoran, and just as we were heading out for food and a few beers, we spotted it. A puncture. Typical. With the ferry home booked for the next day and no repair kit between us, we ended up calling a mobile tower repair guy. With the problem solved, normal service resumed, and the night's antics began. We watched Man City beat Inter Milan 1-0 to become European champions. Quick takeaway and bed. The following morning, we were cruising back to Lauren, making good time, when a phone call halfway to the ferry changed everything. John had left his house keys back at the property. This meant a speedy ride all the way back to Bundoran, then a flat-out dash to Lauren, just making it to the ferry in time. From there, it was back across to Cairnryan, then the final leg home. By the end of our journey, we rode just over 1,000 miles and got back in one piece. Our first island trip was just 3 nights, but it was enough to get us hooked. Stunning coastal roads, almost perfect weather, and a few too many good beers. Sure, we had a puncture, got a little wet, and even left a set of keys behind, but none of that mattered. Ireland had us now, and we knew we'd be back the next year for more. Part 2 of our island adventure was quite the opposite. This time we headed south. New roads, new scenery, but the same mission. Soak up the sights and the beer and see where the ride would take us. This is Mike, signing off.